Welcome, my friends of the interwebs. So, there's a reason why I'm showing you this. Say, silver dollar. And I just bought it yesterday. And the reason I bought it was because I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about personal investing, things that you can put your money into that may help you down the line. Now, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so here's a fun fact. I used to buy a lot of silver and gold. About 1999, it was something that I just did. I was living out in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the culture out there is gold and silver, just at least back in 99. And so I would go like a gold and silver, buy gold and silver shop, a coin shop of some sort, fairly close to me, and I'd get bored and I'd go down there and I would just load up. I had a ton, not a literal ton, but a bunch of these. I don't even know. The most I ever had at any given time of silver in general was probably, I don't even know, a lot. I used to have gold eagles, and the cool thing about gold eagles is that they come in the, I think it's a $50 gold eagle, and it's this size, it's 1 ounce of gold. And by the way, the denomination, and this is created by the United States Mint. The denomination has zero to do with the actual value of the precious metal. So yeah, keep that in mind. This is a $1. You can't buy this for $1. You can spend it. It's legal tender. You can spend it for $1. I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that. I'll get to that in a second. So anyway, the gold eagle, they come in an ounce. I think it was $50 gold eagle, and then it had a half version, so a half ounce gold eagle. It looked just like the 1 ounce gold eagle, except it was a half an ounce. So I don't remember what the face value of that was, maybe $20, something like that. And then it had a much smaller one. I had all three at one point. I can't remember what the much smaller one was all about. Maybe it's a $10 one or something. But they all look the same as far as the design and everything. For those of you who don't know anything about it, I'm just kind of giving it some. Most of you actually do. A lot of you guys do. So I actually like this design here. Okay. All right, so let's get back to why I actually bought this. I hadn't bought one of these a very long time. I mean, years. I kind of got out of it. I got out of the gold, the silver, the platinum, and all. I just kind of got out of it, and it didn't work for me anymore on a investment level, and I'm gonna get to that. So, okay, let me just kind of give you the roundabout with this. So I went to a place called Toledo Coin Exchange. It's on Monroe Street, right into Sylvania, Ohio, from Toledo, and it's a 15-minute drive from my house. And I'd bought plenty of things like this there in the past. First time I'd been there in a long time, though. So anyway, I walk in. I wasn't even sure. I don't even think I had checked the spot price of silver. And I go in there, I'm looking at, because I know they'll have a stack of these, a box of these, and they'll have the gold and all that stuff. So I told him, he said, well, what can we help you with? And I said, I'd like to buy a gold silver dollar, a U.S. Mint. Well, you had options. They had a Canadian version, had the maple leaf on. I almost bought that. I thought it was kind of cool. And then they had just various different, they had 1 ounce bars. They had, they had commemorative type things, I just stuck with the American mint money. I just did. So this was spot. I think, I could be wrong about that, but spot silver was like $27, I think. I can't remember, but I do have the receipt. So the way this place worked is it was spot plus, I think, $3. Okay, so just so you know, if you buy something like this, they're going to charge you X amount of dollars over the spot price. So what is the spot price? Well, that's what the exchanges are dictating as far as the price goes. And you can actually Google spot price of silver, spot price of gold, spot price of palladium, whatever it is you want spot price of, and you can find out. Anyway, out the door, this was 27 bucks. Yeah. So I'm guessing that the spot price of silver was $24. Now, anyway, I should do a little bit more homework, but that, you know me, guys, that's not how I roll. So anyway, I bought it, 27 bucks, to prove a point. Now, it's almost ridiculous to even go any further with this, because here was the plan. Best laid plans. The plan was to compare, okay, this is how much Bitcoin is on this day. This is how much silver is on this day, and I was just going to track it. But then yesterday, silver just went parabolic. Or not silver, I'm sorry, Bitcoin. Bitcoin went parabolic, and silver went, yeah. And it just wasn't fair. It would have been like a dog fight with a pit bull and a chihuahua. It just wasn't fair. But I did want to bring this up because here's kind of the point. Now, I know there are people who they like to be able to hold things. You can't hold Bitcoin. You can hold your wallet, I guess, but you can't hold Bitcoin. Crypto wallet, by the way. People like to stack these up, stick them in their sock drawer, and or in a box under the bed or whatever makes them feel good. Gives them a little confidence that if it all went south, hey, I'm going to be okay because I got all that silver and gold under my bed. And if it all goes south, Bitcoin ain't going to be worth nothing. If you can't get on the internet, you can't get access to your Bitcoin, period. And there is something to be said for that. There is. But just wait for my answers to that whole thing. That whole, if the internet goes down, or if there's an EMP, what's your Bitcoin going to do for you? Because you're not going to be able to get it. But I'll always be able to get my gold. It'll be under my bed or in my sock drawer. Yeah. Now, let me just give you my argument. First of all, let me take one step back real quick. All right, now listen to me. I did not sit down and do a video. I was going to do a video with charts and graphs and all that stuff. It's just not worth doing. Bitcoin went up $2,000 yesterday. I think maybe over $2,000. Yeah, it's just, there's no point in pointing out. Now, is this a horrible investment? No, it's not. But let me address the whole, if the internet goes down or if there's an EMP, and if you don't know what an EMP is, Google it. If there's an EMP, then you're not going to have access to your Bitcoin and you're screwed. Okay, here's my argument to that. If there's an EMP, it's estimated that within a year, 90% of the population will be dead. Let me repeat that. If there's an EMP, within a year, 90% of the population will be dead. Now, maybe that's a bit extreme. I don't know. But I do know this. The 90% might be a bit extreme, but a significant amount of the elderly, the sickly, people that are insulin dependent, all these people, they will not make it. They won't. They won't. I'm on that list, by the way. I guarantee you, I won't. By the way, I drink coffee in the morning, and I have, I'm addicted to zero sugar hazelnut coffee creamer, but it gives me a brown. My cardiologist, I seen him the other day, he swore I was back to smoking cigarettes. I'm like, no, I haven't smoked since I was 40 years old. That's just the truth. Anyway, he goes, well, why do you have the brown thing around? Because I drink coffee and I drink hazelnut creamer in it. I love it that way. And then he was going to bust my chops about the creamer. And I'm like, look, it's zero sugar. And then he said, well, yeah, but all those chemicals. And, I had no answer to that because he's right. There's a lot of chemicals. Okay, so anyway, back to the thing. If there's an EMP, if the internet goes out, think about just losing the internet. If you can't wrap your head around the EMP thing, think about if you can't access the internet, all your banking, all your billing, all that stuff. If we went back to, say, 1990 overnight, internet-wise, it would be a disruptor. And maybe it comes back, and maybe then I have access to my Bitcoin. I don't know. Now, diversification is always key to life. Yes, you do want to have another form of payment or barter. Let me tell you about the barter thing. I got in a discussion with one of the workers at Toledo Coin Exchange, really nice guy, and he entertained my musings on Bitcoin. He didn't know anything about it, and we all start there, not knowing jack squat about Bitcoin. So he said to me, he goes, well, we went through all the key arguments, the BMP, the major disruptions and all that stuff, and I said, let me tell you something. If it goes back, because an EMP will be like going back to 1800. There will be no electricity. There would be no television, no internet, it would be like going back in time a couple hundred years. So I said to him, I go, can you eat this? Because if you can't eat this, you're in trouble. Here's why. If I go up to somebody, let's say my family's starving and we need this, we need that, and I say, hey, look, dude, I've got silver that I can trade you for beans. You know this guy's going to tell me? What am I going to do with that silver? It's worthless. And he's right. Same thing with gold. You can't eat it. If we go back a couple hundred years, you better have things that you can trade. You better have cases of 12-gauge shotgun shells where you can trade a box of shotgun shells for, I don't know, a half a hog. A bunch of beans. But there are things that people will trade for, but this isn't one of them. I promise you that. You'd have to be just a precious metals maximalist to believe that this will be of any value, at least initially. Now, maybe 50, 75 years after the event, for the people who are still alive, yeah, maybe they would like to have some silver and gold, or maybe they've reestablished some form of, because all the borders will be completely crushed by then. There will be no United States of America. Maybe, I could be wrong about that. But at some point, whether they crash the dollar or whatever, they're going to want to have some form of payment. Now, I believe back off of the BMP and the, or is it EMP? Back off from that. Back off from all that other stuff. And I will say this. Now, you know what? I'm just not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But I will tell you, as far as investments go, definitely, in my opinion, Bitcoin for sure. And as Michael Saylor says, there is no second best to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin for sure. In my opinion, my portfolio is probably 90% Bitcoin. I have some Ethereum and some other stuff, but that's a whole nother video. As far as investments go, a lot of people need to educate themselves, and please don't consider this education. You need to take financial advice from me. You need your head examined. So let me just leave you with one more thing, and it's basically to help you understand. Now, this is a dollar. This represents a dollar, okay? And let's just pretend that it's just a dollar. It's not. Hang on. Let me make this a little bit easier for everybody. Okay. This is a fiat currency. I probably should do a whole video on fiat currencies. Okay. This is a $1 bill with George Washington on it. One of the greatest presidents, if not the greatest presidents. I think it's a pretty tight call between Washington and Lincoln, to be honest with you. Only because Lincoln saved the Union, and Washington could have been king had he wanted to be, and he chose not to do that. He chose to create a much better union, I guess, whatever. Anyway, there is 100 pennies that make $1. 100 pennies make $1. With with Bitcoin, there's 100,000 Satoshis that make up one Bitcoin. Right now, last time I checked, Bitcoin was $47,300, somewhere around in there. Okay, so you don't have to buy. One time I said to somebody, you should buy some Bitcoin. Well, I can't afford Bitcoin. What do you mean you can't afford Bitcoin? Well, that's at that time it was like $34,000. That's $34,000. I said, you ain't gotta buy $34,000 worth of Bitcoin. You can buy $5 worth of Bitcoin. Yeah, I'll maybe do a whole video on all that. Yeah. So just like with the dollar, you don't have to have 100 pennies to get you a dollar. It will take, actually, it will take 100 pennies to make $1, but you can get 5 cents at a time. I found 5 cents laying on the parking lot. Well, whatever. Anyway, listen, guys, that's all I got. My point is that Bitcoin is a monster. Bitcoin, as far as investments go, well, let me be, I mine Bitcoin. Okay, so I basically make my own Bitcoin. It's more complicated than that, but that's the simplification of it. I have a machine that actually makes Bitcoin. And yes, to those of you who know better, I know I'm not physically making Bitcoin, but that's neither here nor there. But the last time I purchased Bitcoin in any significant amount was when it was about $34,000, when I was talking to my buddy about buying Bitcoin. And so and that was, I don't know, 3 months ago, maybe, something like that. I don't remember. But so now it's that $34,000 that I invested is now worth $47,000. See how that works? You will never, ever, ever get that kind of return on silver, in my opinion, for what that's worth. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Listen to me. I hope all of you have a wondrous day. Go get you one of these. They're only 27 bucks. Out the door. Yeah, why not? You should have a few of them. Not financial advice. Peace!